What is going on, everyone? We are back in our Raiders franchise in Madden 16. We are currently in the offseason, and it's time for the most exciting part of the offseason, the NFL Draft. We're going to get to that in a second, but first, let's take a look at our watch list. We got a lot of cornerbacks in the first round. There's something like 8 or 9 cornerbacks graded out into the first round. So we have a lot of corners, a few linebackers, wide receiver. As you see, we go through here. I got a nice mix of players. Quarterbacks, there's some quarterbacks on there. Probably won't be drafted one, especially not in the early rounds, maybe later on, but we need a few positions. We're going to take a look in a second at the positions that we need to be paying attention to in the draft, but I have a good mix as we go through each round so that if we get to a point where we need to grab somebody, we should hopefully have someone at least scouted and have picked out some guys on the watch list that will help us out. So, looking at the positions in need, quarterback is one. We need a third QB. We need a third tight end to go with Jackson and Woods. We need a backup, actually an additional backup left tackle, and then a backup right tackle. So a couple of the tackles. We need another D tackle as we have the 2 starters at the top, but we need some depth there. We need, although we have a lot of corners, we already know cornerback is a huge need for us. They did not perform well. Very, very underperforming position. And then we need a second strong safety, which really kind of is a backup free safety since Clinton-Dix does start at strong safety. So there are the positions we need to be looking out for. Let's get into the draft now, as it is going to be the Rams at the top, and they are going to take a quarterback number 1. So that tells you how heavy the cornerback position is in this draft. The D tackle is going to go to the Ravens. The Chargers are going to take a corner. That is crazy. The Vikings take a free safety. The Dolphins are going to take a wide receiver. Now, we got to pay attention to this because if too many corners go, we are going to have to trade up because we have got to get one in this first round. Tight end goes to the Falcons. Another corner to the Texans. So that's already 3. Strong safety to the Browns. The Seahawks will take an outside linebacker. The Giants, no, the Lions trade up and take a corner. All right, so we are in trouble, I think, because that's already the 4th, 5th corner that's been taken. So we'll see what the Colts do. They'll take a wide receiver. I think there's still a couple guys available, but I think we might have to trade up. So let's see what the Redskins are going to do, and they take a cornerback as well. All right, so we have to stop here because I'm pretty sure there is only one cornerback that we've graded out that is still available. So we have a lot of picks to play with, and I'm going to do something maybe a little shady, but since this is technically sort of the last season for our franchise, I'm going to give up next year's first rounder, next year's second rounder, and then I'm going to give up a third rounder. We have 4 third round picks. We got 2 seconds and then the first. So I'm going to trade, I think about trading a third, but I actually end up trading one of the seconds. So it's 2 seconds and a first for the Buccaneers first round pick. Hopefully that is enough, but let's see. We got to wait a few seconds, and they reject it. They at least take a free safety, so the corner's still out there. So let's try again with the Panthers. I'm again going to go with the first and second next year, and I'm going to go with the same thing as, actually, no, we're going to trade it to the, nope, it is. I'm going to end up going the same thing. 2 seconds and a first. Is this going to be enough, Panthers? Please do not take our corner. And it is going to be an outside linebacker. Okay, but still, we need to trade for this pick. We got to get a corner, so I'm going to try this one more time. Or actually, we'll keep trying it, I guess, until it works. But let's go first. And here, I'm going to make the decision. We've probably got to give up our first this year in order to get this. So it's going to be 2 firsts and a third-round pick. Is this going to be enough? The third-round pick may be unnecessary, but let's see. I don't want to leave anything to doubt. We got to get this pick, and the Giants will accept the pick. So it's pretty pricey, but we have a lot of picks to use. So here we go, and there he is, Davasia, I think I'm going to say, Pearson, the last first-round graded corner. And we're not even going to think about this. He fits the scheme. He's going to be the guy, and he is a 79 overall. Very nice. 30th in true talent, and we got him at 16. So we did have to reach a little bit, but still, he was the last of all the cornerbacks. Look at how many corners were taken in the first 16 picks. The Bengals will follow up by taking a QB. It's going to be a tight end to the Bills, a D tackle to the Titans. As our next pick, we're going to pick early in the second round, so we haven't got to wait a ton of time. Wide receiver to the Chiefs, left tackle to the Cardinals. The Saints will take a middle linebacker. The Broncos are going to take a middle linebacker as well. The Patriots up next will take a corner. So there we go. And now they're reaching because there were no other corners graded in the first round, I'm pretty sure. So they're taking one, an outside linebacker to the Jets. The Saints are going to take another corner. That's unbelievable. I don't think, no way there's ever been that many corners taken in one round. Free safety to the Packers after the Jaguars take a middle linebacker. The Cowboys take a strong safety. The Giants take a middle linebacker. The Eagles will take a corner. Wow. And then the last pick of the first round is going to be a right tackle. So What a first round there. It's going to be a right guard going to the Rams with the first pick. Quarterback goes to the Ravens. Chargers will take a right tackle. There's not really a ton of names I'm really looking out for here because we pretty much have, we have starters at every position, so we're really not needing someone besides the corner to really, but Bass, I do know that was a D tackle I had my eye on, so that's unfortunate he gets taken. So here we go. Time for our pick, and this is what we have here. We got a halfback. We're not taking a halfback in the second round. Outside linebacker, right tackle here. This guy doesn't look too bad, graded out as a mid-second rounder. We also have Knox, who is another D tackle who is available to us. Left guard, we need tackles though. And you know what? Ultimately, I'm going to try and play it a little safe. I'm going to go with the D tackle. This guy had a really, really good combine. Also has some pretty good skills. So I'm going to take Darren Knox, late second rounder. But what's he going to be? 78. All right. So we take him 34 in true. We take him 39. He's 34 in true talent. So he looks to be a pretty good 93 strength. That's really good. Good agility and acceleration. Up next for our next pick, I'm skipping ahead now from this point on. And at this point, not a lot on our watch list left. We got 1 second rounder still there. Quarterback, we're not taking a quarterback at this point. And then we have some 4th and 5th rounders. So it looks like the watch list has already failed us as a lot of good players are going to be gone. Do we reach for any of these guys? I really, really don't want to start reaching, super reaching at this point. So you know what? I'm just going to take the best player available. Trey Steffens, we don't necessarily need a wide receiver, but let's see if he's going to turn out any good. He's going to be 5'10", a small guy, so hopefully he's quick. And he's got good skills, B's across the board, and he is going to be a 77. And wow, look at that speed, 95, 97, 96. And is this the guy that is going to cause Percy Harvin to lose his roster spot? I haven't talked about that. We're not going to try and trade any players in this draft, but we might have to look at that in the preseason. Next pick here in the 3rd round, and I am looking. We got a center here. As you see, not a lot of guys available here from our watch list, but we got a right guard there who's actually graded out to a 3rd rounder, and then we have a left tackle here. We need tackles. This guy actually looks pretty good. He fits the scheme really well. He's got some good skills. I don't want to stray too far away from our needs because we do need to fill some of the depth needs we have. So you know what? I'm going to take Chisholm here and see. No, that's going to be a miss. 110 in true talent. We took him at 71, so that is not a good pick. He is just a 68. He's probably not going to make the roster. Next up for our next 3rd round pick, here's a guy that wasn't on the watch list, but I found him as a player I scouted, and a 77 overall center. We don't necessarily need a center, but we can move him around. He's a 48 true talent. We took him at 73, so that's a really, really good pick. Up now, still in this 3rd round, we have another pick here, and at this point, there's not a lot of guys up in that round that we need for my watch list, but I don't want to stray off the watch list and go into some of the guys I even haven't scouted because I have no idea. We could really miss there. I want to still at least get some guys that look good. So here, we need a tight end, and here is a Nate Jernigan. He's a late 5th round prospect, but he has some good stats. He is going to be a 73. Is going to be a value pick there because he was drafted at 94. He had the 75 in true talent, but not a great pick. We now move ahead for our 4th round pick, and here we're getting to where we have some guys in the watch list that fill that need. And I am looking at this guy here, Deontay Holmes, another corner. Do we need to draft another corner? No, probably not. But you know what? For how bad our cornerback position was last year, I'm going to say why not. He's got a good combine, great 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle. And look at this. He's a 75 overall, 61 in true talent. We take him at 126. That's an awesome pick. 82-man coverage, 91, 93 acceleration and agility. So I really, really like that pick, even if it wasn't necessarily really one we needed to take. We have just 2 picks now left, and at this point for this round, I just decided to go with the best available. This is going to be a receiving back with some speed, but nope, he's only going to be a 68. Is a value pick in terms of his talent, but that one didn't really turn out. So here we go, final pick. Only 2 guys left on our watch list. We're not taking a corner, so looks like we're going to take a defensive end, and he does not really turn out too well. He's only a 64 overall, so that is going to be the draft. We did not. That's the first year I think we have not traded down at any point. Let's take a look at the players as what overall do they actually come in at. Pearson's going to end up being a 77. Knox ends up being a 72. He drafted showing as a 78, but once they get onto the team, their overalls do change as you look through these. Definitely not our strongest draft we've had in our 4 years, but not horrible. Austin, the first overall, ends up being a 78, so looks like we got good value there in the middle of the round, as our corner is just one off there. The Saints had a nice draft. They pick up 2 80s. Joey Jordan, one of those corners, was an 80. He is a 3/4, so didn't really fit the scheme. The rest of their picks were not very good. Texans had a good draft. They pick up a 78 corner and then have a couple of 70s. Actually, you know what? Never mind. That draft wasn't too great. The Bills, though, had a very nice top of the draft. 80, 80, 83, a tight end, a strong safety, and an outside linebacker. That is awesome. The rest of it kind of falters, but those 3 guys at the top, that is awesome, especially since those were 3rd and 4th rounders. The Browns, they might have had the best draft overall. As you see, they had 4 second rounders, and they were able to fill that with all 70 overall guys. 162, but then a 69, and then another 70 there in the 5th round, so that is really, really good. So, overall, looking at all the teams, no one really had an outstanding draft. Browns maybe had the best one. There was a lot of poor draft picks, and this draft overall seemed kind of weak. I did not see a lot of high-value picks. There was only a few guys, I think, that were in the 80s. Otherwise, I saw a lot of 60s rated players, some 50s, and then a handful of 70s. So not the greatest draft for us, not the greatest draft it looks like around the league, but we'll see if this draft is going to make the difference, as we will be playing one more season in this franchise. Hopefully, it will end in a Super Bowl victory. We're into the preseason now. I'm going to go through, make some signings to fill the roster. Also going to be looking at some trades. You can see already we have some offers below. We're not trading TJ Lang, but somebody wants Jelani Jenkins. So on top of that, we also have maybe some extra players now. Cornerback, do we maybe trade Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie now that we have that first-round talent that we needed? I don't know. A lot of moves probably, most likely, going to be made in this preseason. So make sure you do not miss the next couple episodes as we go through these 4 weeks and then get into the regular season. So that's going to be it for this one. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe to see any future videos that I make. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.